I want to say that we're going to have a collective picture with a drone. So I would like you all to look up while the drone is going to fly. Hello everyone, please come closer so we can have a good picture. Everyone come closer please. Everyone come closer so we can have a picture. You will all look up and you will smile, so then the drone will fly and we can have a collective picture. Okay, is everyone ready? I see some people at the back not ready. Hello, at the back, people at the back, please come forward. Everyone, please come forward so we can take this picture. I want you all to smile and look up for the picture. Please come forward. Yes, please come forward. I think this is a time of prayer. Okay, so now I want you all to smile and look up and the drone will fly. So then you will all have a big smile. Yes, all ready? So now that I have the attention of everyone, the drone is not flying, but I see that everyone is smiling. So this is one of the things I've learned in this diplomatic life. You go to all these receptions, no one listens to what you have to say. So I realized that when people laugh and smile, they cannot talk. So the idea is that you keep smiling, so you will not talk and listen to what we have to say. Okay? So thank you so much. And with this start, I will hand over to Miles to say some words, and then I will join also with some words.
I probably don't need the microphone, I'm always told. So,
what the hell, Thomas?
After 4 years living in Ankara, I had hoped I would at least understand some things. One of them, the Ankara weather, but no such luck. So we looked out yesterday and thought everybody's going to fry. And then I looked out at 9 o'clock this morning and it was raining, and I thought, oh well, we'll have to be downstairs in the apartment. At 2 o'clock today we decided to come upstairs, and we was a little bit of sunshine, and we thought, yes, we can do this. And then at 3 o'clock I saw these huge black clouds there, and I had visions of carrying all the pot plants down again. But that's just a small thing about what we've experienced over the last 4 years living in Turkey. And I think many of you know, because I think I've told most of you, that I first came to Turkey when I was 16 years old. I was on a cruise with my parents, and I went to Istanbul and to Ephesus, and I think it affected me quite deeply, that experience, so much so that I came back as a 20-something backpacker and spent a bit longer in the country, and I went to Istanbul, Cappadocia, Pamukkale, to Çanakkale, and I've always thought about Turkey, but it wasn't until I came back in 2021 that I really had the opportunity to get to know this country. When I arrived, I started to think about that initial experience, which I can assure you was a very long time ago. And the enduring memory of that experience were the amazing Turkish people, the extraordinary hospitality and the generosity. And since I've been here, the infrastructure has obviously grown enormously in 35 years. The cities have got much bigger, and there are less people out in the rural areas. But once you leave the cities in Turkey, still today that generosity and hospitality of the people is absolutely there and absolutely infectious, and that's been a really sort of defining part of our stay here over the last 4 years. So for me, being an Australian here, just about every conversation I have with the Turkish official and lots of people who are not officials always starts with our shared history revolving around the tragic events at Çanakkale 110 years ago. And it's been a privilege for me to be a temporary steward of that history, but also to attend the annual commemorations, and those are today as popular as they ever have been. And it's a very special thing, but it's made possible by the Turkish government and the Turkish people allowing us to do that, and then supporting it. The workforce that is provided by the Turkish agencies down in Çanakkale every year is extraordinary. It's in the thousands, not in the hundreds. And I think Australians will always be grateful for that, because there are countries where we fought wars, where we simply couldn't dream of doing what we do. And that's been a very important springboard for me in the relationship. But I came as the pandemic was coming to a close in 2021, and I think ever since then we've been in the business of reopening and revitalising the bilateral relationship, and I think we've had some success in doing that. We could always do better on the economic and trade side, but last year when Turkish Airlines started flying first to Melbourne and then also to Sydney, I think we've really come up with a game changer there that will not only generate greater flows of people, but also be good for business, be good for education links. So I'm very pleased that that happened under my watch. Many people spent many years working on that, and it didn't actually happen. I was lucky enough for it to happen. But it's been a very special experience for us to live in this extraordinary country. There have been some fantastic moments, there have been some tragic moments, and all of those we will take with us. But as you can guess, we do have another speaker, and then we've got a fantastic band for you. So I just want to finish up with a few thank yous. Firstly, to the Turkish government and the agencies, particularly the Foreign Ministry, who really are world class in what they do and how they do it. But to the many people outside government that we have met, engaged with and collaborated with. And then of course at a personal level, there are many people here today that have provided services to us as a family, whether it be surgeons or orthodontists through to tennis coaches, riding coaches, etc. And we're forever grateful the tennis fraternity is over here. Indeed. But I'd also like to express a big thanks to members of the diplomatic corps. In Ankara, it's a huge diplomatic corps, and it's very hard to get to know everybody. I've done my best, but I found it extremely collegiate, a fantastic way to get to know other parts of the world that wouldn't normally be accessible, but it's also been a great source of professional advice and at times solidarity, so I'm very grateful for that. I'd also like to thank my team at the embassy, who've been absolutely fantastic. This is not my first head of mission posting, so I have some benchmarks, I think, and we're now sort of at various changeovers of staff, and we're on the second iteration in some roles, but without exception, everybody that's come here has come here because they wanted to make a difference, but also because they wanted to know, to get to know this wonderful country. And that makes a huge difference when you have people that have an enthusiasm and also a sense of optimism about what is possible. So big thanks to my team at the embassy. And then finally, my own family, who have to put up with long speeches and moving countries. Thank you for that, guys. Firstly, it's obviously a big impact on children. They don't choose to say, oh, let's go to Turkey for 4 years, or let's go to Saudi Arabia for 4 years. They're very much conscripts, and I'm forever grateful that they're willing, and they're also fabulously supportive conscripts. And Tomasz has been here and seen it all for the last 4 years. And young Marta has dealt with the experience of boarding school in Australia, and then subsequently becoming an Australian citizen, and then a university student in Australia. So she knows the flight from Australia to Turkey probably better than anybody I know. Very much a frequent traveller. So and then of course we have 2 older children in Australia, but they have been here for visits, and certainly coming to Ankara is not a hard sell. People are always very keen to come. And then finally, there is the very extraordinary person standing next to me who, as you know, hasn't always been resident in Ankara. She managed to fit in a year or so in Kenya, 5 months in Senegal, time in Somalia and Iraq, and the list goes on. But she's never stopped fulfilling any of her roles as a mother, a wife, as a professional. She'll be in Kenya or Senegal and still arranging play dates for Tomasz for the next day, still scrutinising forensically his returned lunchbox, and at the same time organising lectures and all sorts of things all across the world. So she's a great source of energy and inspiration to us all, and certainly been very good to have you here since the middle of last year, and hopefully we'll see a bit of you in Rio. But it's been enormous support to me, but at the same time, as you all know, if there's one person that keeps you on your toes, that challenges you, and that is never short of new ideas, some crazy, some not so crazy, it's Marta. So Marta, thank you so much for everything. And long may it continue. So you'll be pleased to know, Tomasz, that's the end of that. So I'm going to hand over.
Okay, I prepared, so therefore I'll be brief, because when you take things from the sleeves, it takes a bit longer to develop. So, you have to hold on to me, the wind is a bit strong. So I immediately stood up on this bench, and I will bring you to the beginning of this gathering, which was, let's take a picture for you to smile and listen to what we have to say. But now the second part is that usually I'm shorter than Miles, but usually also women are shorter than men. So what happened is that usually men look down on women and women up on men. So I decided that this time not only I put my heels, but I also will step up. And it's so interesting because also this idea of stepping up, in photos we always choose a place that has stairs, because everyone wants to be in that picture. So everyone needs to be in the picture smiling. And this is why silence becomes a topic, and also everyone positions themselves, and that is society. We all position ourselves in the best way we can. And this color of this party today, it is not by chance, because we live in a period where conflicts are dominating. We live in a period where humanity seems to be forgotten. We live in a period where resilience is requested for the most outrageous conditions. So this party comes also with this call for peace, and also an open canvas. When I came to Turkey, I thought about my open canvas, and I was going to paint it with all the memories that I will bring, that I will have, and I will gather in Turkey. And then life happened. So my canvas was not painted with pictures of Rodham, of nice weekends in Kash, all of that show, which I managed to go. But also, Miles, you have to hold on to me, because otherwise I'll yes. And so it's always good to have a husband to hold on to. And
useful for something.
So what I've noticed is that my canvas was painted with pictures of Africa and safaris and other places in the Middle East. And I managed also to put some of the Turkey components. And this is why now I am going to start saying what I prepared. So as I stand next to my husband in an equal position, I understand that equity is the most important thing that you can bring to society. Inclusiveness and equity. So bring yourself, all of you can make a change. and step that steps. Make yourself be visible on a picture, smile, so make other smiles, you can talk and be listened, and find your spot on those steps to bring the voice and an image to that picture. So I wanted to say that when I first arrived, I was having these ideas, but in reality, yeah, it didn't happen. I think my son Thomas actually traveled more in Turkey than I did. But even if my time in Turkey was short, I still managed to fall in love with Turkey as a city and with its contradictions and paradox. Turkey has become the land that saw the end of my 12 years of bureaucracies, which took me to become an Australian citizen, which many of you witnessed as well. Turkey is also where our daughter suffered a terrible horse fall, breaking her femur and wrist. Yet it was here we discovered the excellencies and the humanity of the Turkish doctors, some of whom are here with us. Here, I stood in 3 different occasions at the dawn ceremony in Çanakkale for Anzac celebration or commemorations. Moment I share, and these memories of horrors, I saw that the war can also bring nations together, and that moved me deeply. And here in Turkey, this is where I finished my first book that will be launched by the Portuguese Ministry of Foreign Affairs next week. And I wrote my second book, which almost complete, that will be published next year. So a land of inspiration. And despite of the rush of work, troubles, and an unexpected crisis, I discovered something precious. This country doesn't just offer history and landscapes. It offers heart and friendships that will stay with me long after I leave. To everyone who welcomed us, who supported us, laughed with us, and helped us to feel at home, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And now, let's fill that canvas with everything that unites people. Food, music, laughter, and dance.
Hey, I feel good. Hey, I feel nice. Hey, I feel nice. I'm sugar and spice. Hey, so good, so good. I feel nice. Hey, sugar and spice. Delícia, delícia, assim você me mata. Ai, se te pego, ai, se te pego. Delícia, delícia, assim você me mata. Se te pego, ai, se te pego, reba!